الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are the Group 7 and we are going to present to you the beauty of Islamic religion. To further understand the beliefs and practices of Islam, we also want to give some infos about the religion. But before that, let's define what is religion. Religion is defined as a body of ideas and behaviors related to a supernatural entity or powers, frequently true of as divine or in charge of human destiny. Religion may also aim to comprehend the meaning, objectives, and process of spiritual things. Texts, symbols, rituals, festivals, and morality and other characteristics that differ throughout religion can all be found in religion. Religion may seek to explain the beginning of the universe, life, and other phenomena. Saudi Arabia in the 7th century is where Islam first emerged. The Islamic religion is most recent of major world religions. In year 610 AD, the Prophet Muhammad declared the existence of Islam. A guy claimed to have an angelic vision after experiencing it.
What is Quran? Through my research, I have found that Quran is the holy book of Islam, which is considered the final revelation from Allah to the Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is the founder of Islam and the last prophet sent by Allah to guide the humanity. Hence, Quran contains the teachings and guidance for Muslims to live their lives according to the will of Allah. The Quran is composed of 114 chapters or surahs, which are organized by length and cover various topics including faith, morality, social issues, and history. The Quran was not published in the traditional sense. It was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over a period of 23 years through the angel Gabriel. And it was preserved through memorization and written records by his companions. The Quran was compiled into a single volume shortly after the death of the Prophet Muhammad and has been transmitted through the generations of Muslims ever since. One major difference between the Quran and other holy texts, such as the Bible, is that the Quran is believed by the Muslims to be the literal word of God, whereas the Bible is seen as a collection of divinely inspired writing. Also, the Quran is primarily written in Arabic, while the Bible was originally written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, and many more differences. If you want to read it in translated version, try to find the Quran by Oxford World's Classics. That is a valuable resource for us non-Muslims who want to learn more about Islam and its teachings. It provides a broad and detailed understanding of the Islamic holy book. The translation and accompanying notes help readers appreciate its literary and cultural significance. And the glossary of terms helps readers understand Arabic words and concepts. Let's proceed to the dress code of Islam. Islamic teachings require both men and women to dress modestly, but is not attributed to a specific ruler. Rather, it is a part of the Islamic faith and is based on the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith. In Islamic culture, modesty in dress is seen as a way to show respect to oneself, to others, and to God. The specific requirements of modest dress may vary depending on cultural and regional customs, but the principles of covering the body and avoiding tight, revealing, or ostentatious clothing are generally followed by the Muslims worldwide. Here are the types of dresses in Muslims, men and women, depending on the region, culture, and style. For women, hijab, a headscarf worn by Muslim women to cover their hair and neck. It is often paired with the modest clothing that covers the body. Abaya, a long, loose-fitting cloak worn over clothing to cover the body from the neck to the feet. It is commonly worn in Gulf countries such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. Burqa, a full-body garment that covers the entire face and the body. With a mesh screen over the eyes, it is commonly worn in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and some parts of India. Niqab, a face veil that covers the entire face except for the eyes. It is commonly worn in the Arab Gulf countries, particularly in Saudi Arabia. Chador, a full-length cloak worn by Muslim women in Iran and some parts of Central Asia. It covers the entire body except for the face and hands. Jibab, a long, loose-fitting outer garment that covers the body from the neck to the feet. It is commonly worn in North Africa and the Middle East. And for the men, they wore a tob or dishdasha, a long, loose-fitting garment that is typically worn in Gulf countries, such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. Jabba, a long, loose-fitting robe that is worn in many countries across the Muslim world, including the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. Kurta, a long, loose-fitting tunic that is commonly worn in South Asia, including India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Sherwani, a long coat-like garment that is worn in South Asia for formal occasions such as weddings and religious events. Kufi, a small brimless cap that is commonly worn in many Muslim cultures including North Africa, West Africa, and the Middle East. Shalwar kameez, a two-piece outfit consisting a long tunic and loose-fitting pants that is commonly worn in South Asia and some parts of Middle East. That is some infos of Islamic dress code for both men and women, and is based on the principle of modesty and respect. The significant part of Islamic culture and is seen as a way to express religious identity and respect for oneself, others, and God. It is a way for Muslims to demonstrate their commitment to their faith and to create a more harmonious and respectful society.
Church of Islam. A mosque or masjid is a place of prayer of a Muslim. Mosques are usually covered buildings but can be any place where prayers are performed, including outdoor courtyards. The first mosque were simple place of prayers of Muslim and may have been open spaces rather than buildings. The word of mosque means place of prostration. Generally, a mosque is any place where a Muslim prays and the worship of Allah. Prostration shows dedication of one life to Allah, and the features of mosque reinforce these submissions to Him. Mosque commonly serve as location for prayers, Ramadan vigils, funeral, service, marriage, and business agreements, alms collections, and distribution, as well as homeless shelters. Historically, mosques have served as a community center, a court of law, and religious of school. In modern times, they have also preserved their rules as place of religious instructions and debate. Especially important is according to the Great Mosque of Mecca, center of the Hajj. The Prophet Mosque in the Medina, burial places of Muhammad, and Al-Aqsa Mosque Jerusalem, believed to the site of Muhammad.
So, what are the practices in Islam? Many religions have a list of habits or rituals that are expected to be followed by those practices that particular in faith. Islam is no exception with the 5 pillars of Islam, which are core beliefs and practices of Muslims. So, in this video, I will focus on the 5 pillars of Islam, which are Shahada, Salah, Zakat, Saum, and Hajj. So, the first pillar of Islam, known in Arabic as Shahada, means declaration of faith to one God. The Arabic word for God is Allah. Like Christians and Jews, Muslims believe in a monotheistic faith. This means that they believe in one God, not many gods as the Arabs before Islam did, or the Greeks, Egyptians, or Vikings that believe in a pantheon of deities. Muslims believe that Muhammad is the messenger of God and that his words were Muslims also believe in angels. For example, the angel Gabriel revealed the final message to humankind himself to Muhammad in a cave near Mecca. In addition, Muslims believe that souls will face judgment and that those that follow the rules will go to paradise. The second pillar of Islam, known in Arabic as Salah, means daily ritual prayer. Muslims are required to pray 5 times a day. They pray during dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and during the night. Calls to prayer are done from the top of minarets. Minarets are towers connected to mosques. Remember, a mosque is an Islamic house of worship. Muslims pray towards Mecca and must cleanse themselves before prayer. A prayer leader in a mosque is called an imam. So, women and men pray in separate sections. The person that shouts the call to prayer is called muazzin, and it is now done from that speaker at the top of minaret. The third pillar of Islam, known in Arabic as Zakat, means charity or helping the poor. According to Islamic teachings, the wealthy should give part of their wealth to those less fortunate. This is similar to something called tithe, which is donation given in the Christian's faith. The money of Zakat was used for public works that would help the community For example, it could be used to build orphanage public, fountains, soup kitchens, hospitals, and schools. Zakat was also a custom used to discourage with Islam's traditions, see that Muslims should give 140 of their wealth to those in need. The fourth pillar of Islam, known in Arabic as Saum, means fasting. This is similar to Christians' Lent when people limit what they eat, or for Muslims, this is done for the entire month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the holy month for Muslims, and it is during the ninth month of their calendar. The fasting occurs from daybreak until sunset, and Muslims cannot eat, even drink water during this time. There are a few exceptions. If you have are elderly or pregnant, you do not have to partake in the fasting. Some helps Muslim learn self-control and understand the stress and poverty of hunger. Ramadan ends with a holiday called Eid al-Fitr. So the fifth pillar of Islam is known as Hajj in Arabic, and it means pilgrimage. A pilgrimage is a journey to a holy site for Muslims. The most important holy site is located at the Kaaba. In Mecca, Muslims are encouraged to visit Mecca if they have the money at least once in their lives. The Hajj happens during the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. Muslims pilgrim circles the Kaaba 7 times because they believe that this is where Abraham built a shrine to honor God. Other important sites in Mecca that are visited during the Hajj include the plain of Arafat and Mina. At the end of the Hajj, there is a great feast and holiday called Eid al-Adha.
Hi everyone, good day. I'm Dainara Singkuya and I will be reporting Muslim or Islam beliefs. So what do Muslims or Islam beliefs? So Muslims have 6 major beliefs. These are beliefs in one God, who is Allah, beliefs in angels, belief in the holy books, belief in the all prophets sent by God, belief in the day of judgment in life after death, and belief in divine decree. Monotheism or belief in one God is the most important and foundational concept in Islam. This primary pillar of Islamic belief clearly states that there is nothing worthy of worship except God. Muslims believe in one God who created the universe and has power over everything within it. So he is exalted above everything he creates, and his greatness cannot be compared to his creation. So belief in angels. So as Christian, we also have angels, but in Islam, they call their angels as malaika. So malaika were created before humans with the purpose of following the orders of Allah and communicating with humans. Muslims believe that angels, like all other creatures, were created by God. In Islamic belief, angels communicate messages from Allah to humanity. Angels in Islam have the following qualities. They are made from light, they have no free will, they tell Allah about the behavior of humans, they are limitless, and they are invisible. So belief in holy books. So belief in the holy books sent to all the prophets, including Torah that was revealed to the prophet Moses, Bible that was revealed to the prophet Jesus, and Quran that was revealed to the prophet Muhammad. So in Christian we have Bible, but in Muslim or Islam they have Quran. So the Quran teaches that every generation has been given its own prophet, bringing God's messages in a book. The messages brought by the prophet Muhammad is essentially the same messages as had been preached by all the prophets back to Adam. The need worship the one through God who will be the judge of all. Believe in the day of judgment and life after death. The best reward for performing good deeds is getting closer to God. Al-Qadar, or belief in divine will and decree, is the Muslim belief that Allah has decided everything that will happen in the world and in people's lives, which is also called predestination. Most Muslims believe that humans cannot choose to do something if Allah has not already chosen the path for them. In Islam, it is Allah who decides when a person dies, and most Muslims believe that when they die, they will stay in their graves until Yawm al-Din, the day of judgment. On that day, they will be raised from their graves and brought before Allah and judged on how they live their earthly lives.
Islamic rites and ceremonies are an integral part of Islamic worship and practice. They include a variety of rituals, practices, and traditions that Muslims follow to strengthen their faith and connect with Allah. Some of the most important Islamic rites and ceremonies include: first is the Khitan. It is the Islamic practice of male circumcision, which is considered a sunnah or a tradition of the Prophet Muhammad in Islam. It is typically performed on male children, although it can be done at any age. The procedure involves the removal of the foreskin of the penis and is usually conducted by a trained practitioner in a sterile environment. Khitan is an important Islamic rite and is believed to have health benefits as well as spiritual significance. It is seen as a symbol of purity and is intended to enhance the cleanliness and hygiene of the individual. In addition, it is believed to be a means of increasing one's faith and devotion to Allah. Khitan is widely practiced throughout the Muslim world and is an integral part of Islamic culture and traditions. Next is the Nikah. It is the Islamic marriage ceremony that is considered a sacred bond between a man and a woman in Islam. It is a contract between the bride and the groom conducted by an Islamic authority such as an imam or a qadi in the presence of 2 male witnesses. The nikah ceremony involves the proposal and acceptance of marriage, the giving of a gift or mehr by the groom to the bride, and the recitation of verses from the Quran, the signing of marriage contract by the bride and groom, and the leading of a prayer or dua by the imam. After the nikah ceremony, the couple is considered legally married in the eyes of Islam. Marriage is highly valued in Islam and is seen as a means of building a happy and successful family based on Islamic principles. The nikah ceremony is an important event in the life of a Islam couple and is an opportunity for them to commit to living together as husband and wife and to seek blessings from Allah for their union.
Another Islamic rites and ceremony is the janazah. It is a funeral prayer performed by Muslims for the deceased. It is considered a religious obligation for every Muslim to attend the janazah for another Muslim and to offer prayers for their forgiveness and mercy. The prayer consists of several takbirs, or the declaration of greatness of Allah, and the recitation of specific verses from the Quran. It is a communal prayer usually performed in mosque or an open space, and it is led by an imam or a designated person. The janazah prayer serves as a final tribute to the deceased, and it is an important aspect of Muslim funerary traditions. The janazah prayer is a simple yet powerful reminder of the transient nature of life and the inevitability of death. It is a time for the reflection and remembrance, as well as a chance to seek forgiveness and mercy for the departed soul. The prayer also serves as a source of comfort and support for the family and friends of the deceased, who are reminded that they are not alone in their grief. Overall, the janazah prayer is a solemn and meaningful tradition that reinforces the Islamic beliefs in the importance of honoring the dead and offering supplication for their eternal rest. These are just some of the most important Islamic rites and ceremonies. They are intended to help Muslims strengthen in their faith, demonstrate their devotion of God, and show compassion and generosity to others.
There are many things that Allah has labeled as forbidden for Muslims, and these things are called haram. So haram refers to anything that is prohibited in the Quran or would result in sin when committed by a Muslim. Even if you are not a Muslim, you have probably heard about haram. These haram actions are major sins that have severe consequences if practiced and also have great rewards if avoided. So here are the things that are considered haram in the religion of Islam. Most of you, even if you are not a Muslim, you probably know this already. Eating pork or something that is not halal, that is haram. Even if you use Allah's name in slaughtering of a pig, eating pork is still going to be haram. In Surah 5 verses 3 says, "Prohibited to you are dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah, and those animals killed by strangling or by a violent or by a headlong fall or by the goring of horns, and those from which a wild animal has eaten, except what you are able to slaughter, and those which are sacrificed on stone altars, and that you seek decision through divining arrows, that is grave disobedience." So yeah, very long passage that included the point that eating pork is haram in Islam. By the way, halal refers to what is permissible or lawful in traditional Islamic law. Uncovered. A Muslim woman is not allowed to go out outside of her home without hijab, as non-mahram men are present. So it doesn't matter whether you are at home, in the street, in the library, in the supermarket, or elsewhere. If a non-mahram male is present, you should have your hijab on. A mahram is any male who you are allowed to be in front of without hijab in, basically. The mahrams are men you are not allowed to marry or have sexual relations with. You do not need to observe hijab in front of these males. Therefore, non-haram means it is not haram to marry with a few exceptions. It also means you have to observe the hijab in front of non-mahram. Shirk. According to Islam, God does not share His divine attributes with anyone else. According to Islamic doctrine of Tawhid, which means oneness, associating partners with God is strictly prohibited. Shirk, which literally means association, is the acceptance of other gods and divinities as associates of God or equal to God. Those who practice shirk are called mushrik. Shirk is a sin that is not be forgiven if a person passes away without repenting according to Quran. And there is one passage that I like to quote, and it goes as follows. Allah does not forgive the formation of partners with Him, but He does forgive anything else to whom He pleases. To form partners with Allah is to devise a most heinous sin. So in the religion of Islam, only Allah can be seen or viewed or worshipped in the position of Allah. Nobody else or nothing else can be compared. And now you know some things that are haram in Islam if you didn't know before.